First of all, I want to talk to you about this. This is called a banding wheel, and these are underneath our wedging tables, and it's labeled. These are really nice when you're glazing or underglazing, but they're not necessary because you're not going to have one of these at home. You know, you can just use your wear board at home, or if you have a Lazy Susan, you can use that, but you do not need to use this. But I want to show you how to use it so if you're in the studio, you know how to use it. So before we get set up with that, I want to show you that over here is our underglaze. These are all underglaze. Oh, somebody didn't put it away. Make sure you put it away. So your little kit of underglaze. Underglaze is like ceramic paint, like paint for ceramics. Although we don't call it paint because we don't want people to get confused. We call it underglaze, okay? But you can mix the colors, you can blend the colors, you can water them down to kind of get a like wash look. You can do all the same things you can do with paint, okay? In your studio at home, I did give you palettes so that you can mix in a palette. You could also use a paper plate or just a normal plate and wash it. When you pick your two colors, before you put it in your little cup or in your palette, if you're working in here, you want to shake it up, okay? Because the particles separate, you want to shake this up. And then I want you guys to kind of pay attention to how big your piece is. You know, so if you're doing a little piece like this, you don't necessarily have to fill this whole cup up. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. Another thing is when you take this home, you have to label it. With your Sharpie I gave you, label it underglaze. Please label it. Because here's what happens is the white underglaze looks like clear glaze, and the purple looks like wax resist. You have to label any ceramic materials that you bring home, or even in the studio, so we can keep track of what things are. Because you might not use all your underglaze, so you can use it later on for different projects. Okay. So I shook that up good. I'm going to put some in there. Get a brush that's appropriate for the size that you're working on, right? If I want to do big stripes like this, I'm not going to get a teeny tiny brush. Or if I want to underglaze the whole thing, I'm not going to get a small brush like this, okay? So get a brush that's appropriate. And then you want to really juice up that brush. Get it nice and full. Now with the banding wheel, there's little like grooves right here so that you can spin the banding wheel and apply your underglaze. Now I'm doing stripes on this one, but you know, if you wanted to do the whole thing, you could just keep going, okay? Coats of underglaze. You have to have 3 to 4 coats of underglaze. With light colors, I definitely think 4 coats. But here's the thing. Well, when this dries, you're gonna see that these are gonna look the same. This only has 2 coats on it, this now has 3 coats on it. But just visually, you can't tell and I can't tell. The only way you can tell is if you count and keep track of it. So don't walk up to me and say, hey, Mrs. Green, does this look good? Does this look like enough coats? I don't know because it all looks the same. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me show you what it looks like if you only have 1 coat of underglaze. You're going to get this blotchy color, okay? 2 coats, 3 coats, and then 4 coats, okay? I will say with black and grain, you really only need like 3 coats. Don't put on too many coats, otherwise then it'll bubble. So don't be like, oh, I'm gonna make this awesome. I'm gonna put on 10 coats of underglaze. That's not good either, okay? And on the back here, you can see there's 1 coat, 2 coat, 3 coats, 4 coats. It doesn't really change much here, okay? So more isn't better. Although I think this looks like blotchy and sometimes amateurish, thin that underglaze out a little bit and use it more like watercolor, okay? Let's back up a little bit. When you first get your pot, it's been bisqued. It's over on the cart, ready to be picked up. You want to make sure you have clean hands. When a pot has just been bisqued, it's still really porous. So if you have clay on your hands, you're gonna block the pores, just like in your face. If you just put lotion on your hands and you touch it, or your hands are greasy and you touch it, it's gonna block the pores and mess up your underglaze in place. Okay. You can be really meticulous and make it really smooth, or with this one, I'm kind of just like blending the two colors in because I want to have kind of a cloud fun look. And I'm working quickly because Underglaze dries so fast. Since it is porous, the pot's porous, it just sucks up all the water and dries really fast. Now, let's say we wanted to do this. And I knew this was Autumn's. I've been using it all week. So let's say you wanted to have a background that's a nice solid color. You could paint it on this way, and then the next coat paint it on this way, and then the third coat paint it on this way. See what I'm saying? Sometimes that just really helps get a nice even coat. Now with this one, you can underglaze the background color and then lay things on top of it. But if you do that, you want to start with the lightest color. So she's got her light yellow, and then her darker colors are what she did on top. Although I'm only giving you two colors, this is the color of the bare clay. So now really you have three colors, right? Because whatever you leave blank will be this color. So just to review, make sure your hands are clean before you touch the pot. Shake up your underglaze before you put it in your to-go containers. When you get home, label those to-go containers. How many coats of underglaze do you need to have? 3 to 4. On the bottle it says 3, but the lighter colors I think work better at 4. Okay, when you are cleaning up here or at home, underglaze and glaze, it's fine to go down the sink. So you can just wash your brushes out wherever you want, okay? But make sure you wash them out really well, because if you don't, underglaze gets stuck in there, and then the next person that goes to use that brush, you know, starts underglazing, and then there's a different color that gets mixed in. So please make sure you wash out your brushes really well. All right, thank you.